Especially insofar as nobody died or was tortured.
I don't
You see,
like
that's
small
what I was
places.
saying.
What?
I don't like small places.
Really? It's not like I like them either. What kind of conversation is this anyway?
Get out of solitary
What does this
confinement,
have to do
human.
with anything?
Can we talk today? Did you get some more friends?
Are you talking about Ari?
Hey,
That's
Ven.
right.
Oh, we were just talking about you, Ven.
Your
We
classmate.
needed somebody to counterbalance.
Her mother
We needed
remarried.
we need a fan of
She
Lab
got
Coat
along with
to
her
counterbalance a friend of
She
Jupey,
often sees
and
him
you weren't there in time.
Quite
But he said an episode of Roop in which where no one dies was tortured, boring. And Lorax said, but the viewers are the ones being tortured.
Hey, now.
She cuts her own hair.
Isn't that where
She
Thanos
has
chills
her
out in the Marvel
biological
movies?
father's eyes. When
Yeah,
we
I
met
have
on
not
the
yet
roof,
seen the
she
second
immediately goes home.
Avengers movie.
That's quite thorough.
I have, so I know what they're talking about. Also, thank you. Wayne had his hand up, so I couldn't actually see the chat.
Drat.
How do you know so much?
For what it's worth, it was more the
Because it involves
Jupiter
you.
conversation was
Done
finally
the
something
research.
interesting.
I know everything about you.
She's done the research. She has looked up your online record.
You started walking of your own
This
free
one weird
will.
trick.
You've
Go
taken
Google
your
yourself.
first steps.
Also, I love that she's saying that he's walking in his own free will, not that he's working with everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
You
But...
changed people's fate of your own free will. That is a many-splendored thing. You were also able
Yeah,
to
you've gone up a
change
lot of
yourself.
levels since you started.
It's almost time to meet up. I'm going now.
Needless to say, pay attention to, well, not this conversation so much. It wasn't too important besides that last bit.
Right.
But pay attention to the things that Letitia says, because they will be relevant later. As opposed to a lot of the other stuff in the game previously, where it's pretty much all been forgotten by
Mission
now.
6. Sparking
Sparking rematch. 10 will get you 20 that we're fighting Hien again.
Mm.
Just because we haven't actually fought with anyone else except for the... Oh, gosh.
Oh, how I have missed this. The refreshingly open space. The
So, Lorax, what have you done?
free of my eternal torment.
On next stream! Ben says, "Oh, sparking. Do you think it was sparkling rematch and we were suddenly fighting a Twilight vampire? Oh, or do you think it was spanking rematch?
So soft. So fluffy.
Yes, I have some bad news for you, Ven. It is not that kind of anime dating game.
I'm kind of horrified, actually.
I am so happy.
Yeah, you thought that was
so
yep.
warm and comfy.
What is with this music?
This is the kind of, like, overly cutesy music that you see in, like,
Are you
kids'
here,
TV
Kamikaze?
programming in Japan.
Ah,
So as to emphasize, she's really kid-like.
What in the world are you doing?
I'm sure that they will explain where Aries is staying. I hope.
I think she stays in whichever room you're not in.
Miss Ariel, please knock before entering.
Yeah.
Huh?
Since Ichiko and Angel Princess stay in Plushy Land.
Fun with your stuffed animals? Please excuse me.
You really should have had the smirk on her for that one.
What do
Right.
you mean by having fun? You make it sound as if I was
Oh
doing
gosh,
something
it's like
indecent
what
with
Ben
them.
saw when he dropped acid and tried to play Candyland.
It's more weird than indecent.
Okay, all the facial expressions on this screen are perfect right about now.
The only thing I wish is that they also had Shin on there
Right.
to also do it.
What is so weird about having conversations with stuffed animals?
Okay, on the checklist now, Jupiel, afraid of ghosts, has conversations with plushies.
This case is quite severe. Recovery may be impossible. You have no right to say that. You talk to your flasks and
Oh
beakers
snap!
too. In what way would I be able to converse with flasks and beakers? Don't go putting words in my mouth. Seriously. How long are you two gonna argue about this?
Oh, Aerie, welcome to Celestia.
Then asking, are we attempting to date a 6-year-old? Is that referring to Aerie or
Jupey.
Or Jupey?
Oh, the music changed. Thank goodness.
Have they said how old Jupey is? Yeah, it does that she's young for an angel. I don't know how old she absolutely is.
Right.
Thanks for saving me.
Aerie is Shin's classmate. They're both high schoolers. Jupey is probably about their age. Ariel's a little older.
Right.
Ariel's probably ancient, actually.
I mean, yeah, she has created at least one other devil god.
Right.
So.
Anyway, so do you, live here, Shin?
But no, then. She is not 6. She just has her child moments.
She is delightfully,
I am Sir Shin's
can't even think of the right
exclusively
word
signed
for
angel,
it.
after all.
Young at
It is
heart,
necessary
perhaps.
for us to live in the
As
same
Vincent old enough to provide a plausible excuse of a role that doesn't needing to be.
That's true. She's in junior college. It's fine.
You're right.
I also agree with Lorax. The plushies tell me to harm people.
I understand all too well what you want to say, Aerie, and I completely agree. How can you live in such a pink room? He is quite strong-willed. Huh? That's how you took it?
Aerie still strikes me as the kind of person that probably just has a bunch of punk band posters on her walls and stuff.
Oh, actually, I think she's totally more along the emo lines. Remember, she's a loner.
Or that too, yeah.
What? How could you even come to such a far-fetched conclusion?
And once again, it's like they are just not
It's not
nearly
far-fetched at all.
as
It is a proven fact
engaged
that
enough in this
changes
dialogue to
residential
to match what
environments
their
adversely
match the
affect
art
minds
here.
of humans.
Are you saying that my room is not suitable for Sir Shin to live in?
Also, let's reuse
One thing
this
I can
the
say
shot
is
from
that
last
if
time that
your
talked about
room
their
had
rooms,
provided the
just with a
highest
different
comfort,
background.
Kamikaze would have hesitated to leave Celestia.
No mistaking that.
And yeah, they actually gives you a choice to shift gears here.
Fine then. If you insist
Uh-oh.
so much.
All right,
let
folks,
Sir Shin
we're going
decide
to
once
have
again
a...
which room
Let's
he would
have more
like
of
to
a
live in.
official vote on it, and otherwise
To
the
accept my
weight goes to the
challenge
first
despite
answer.
the fact you
Which
realize
room do we go
Cody,
with?
you're
Do we
wrong.
stick with the
As
pink
expected.
plushy room, or do we
Natural
switch
born
to
warrior.
the mad science
However,
instant noodle
now that
laboratory?
Kamikaze has
Yeah,
gotten
pro
a
for
glimpse of
Jupiel's
the dark
room.
side, would he really
Fairly
want to
harmless.
live in your
Bodyguards right there. Con, pink.
Right.
Sir
Yeah, it
Shin
might be
is
crazy and
only
talks to
my
animals.
He will
Pro for
probably
Ariel's
be all
room.
right.
Now
It's
then,
not pink.
Kamikaze, choose
Cons, probably be
Jupey's
experimented on.
room or mine.
Also
Which
instant
one do
noodles.
you
Also
wanna
instant
live
noodles. Ghost says, what even is going on?
I love Aries' response. Like, really?
You've been living this high school
Exactly. Yeah.
lifestyle
So
since
the
you
2
were
chapters
12.
ago, genocide, death, and torture. Now. Okay, so Ghost Dad doesn't know what the heck. Lorax votes for Plushy Nightmare Land. Ven and Keen vote for Science.
That's true. If we switch rooms, Aerie will be subjected to plushy nightmare. Do we throw ourselves on that grenade for our friend?
It's currently 2-1. You may have the deciding vote, Ghost Dad or Sway or whoever else is here, but has been watching the carnage silently from the sidelines. We'll wait about another minute and then.
That said, I do have to say that I think Aerie was kind of necessary in this game, and I wish he had been here a little bit earlier. So you need to have some voice of reason to provide perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody else is just, they're too engaged in their own things to really, even it out.
Ghost Dad votes for tie. I'm gonna get a coin flip ready if we need it.
Do we have a coin handy?
Prevents the necessary Aerie.
Actually, yeah, we could compress it down. Necessary. Go with pink hell.
All right. Anybody else still waiting? 10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh, you can feel the
6,
tension.
5.
The coin's already been
4,
flipped.
3, 2, 1.
Heads for Jupey.
Tails, Ariel.
Oh! Ariel it is.
What? Why?
Why, Sir Shin? Did you really not like my room that
Sorry,
much?
then there was not time to rock the vote.
Well, that's obvious. If he continued living in this room,
The superdelegates had spoken.
Oh, Drakenel missed it. You could have been the tiebreaker vote.
Want to part with me, Sir Shin?
But basically, Drakenel, Shin over there, the god of Celestia, had the opportunity to stay in this pink nightmare room or switch over to Ariel's room.
Looks like
And we
you
had
know
the
when to
chat
give
vote
up,
for it,
Jupey.
and by coin toss,
Kamikaze is
all
my
5 of the
property.
delegates now go
I
to
can do
Ariel.
anything I want with him now. Where
Hey,
should I
Bazooka Tooth.
begin?
This is your brain on stuffed animals, yep. Yeah, especially after that intro scene. This was a good time to bail, I think.
Doesn't sound that bad either.
And I hope you all are happy that we have now officially become Ariel's guinea pig.
That says the horror fan in him does have some fondness for that room.
This is my room. The room that you
Yep,
picked
Lorax is
up
reserving his I told you so right now.
No, I wasn't yearning for it or anything. You don't have to give me the tour. I've been here before.
What is this harem anime? The anime harem BS, the Drakenel asks. Actually, here's the funny thing, is that there's actually very little, romance and
Feel
stuff,
free to sit
at
wherever you
least.
want.
Definitely not much
Yours
up to this
spot.
point.
Oh, the chair is
The
also
idea
good.
is
And it
that
does
you...
Oh yeah, and we also
Possibly
don't have a
not
bed.
bad either.
It's amazing.
But yeah, the idea is that you go through the game
is there any possible way I
making
could
choices
go back
that are
to
either
Jupiter's
good or bad, defined
is
as
no
angel or
such
devil.
possibility.
Angel ones tend to be good intentioned but heedless of consequences. Devil is more pragmatic,
Then let us have a toast.
but screw people and stuff like that. Because the game tends to be, the first couple chapters are dark, the devil choice is usually right. And basically the decisions you make out there, the devil choice is
Do you have
usually
some kind
the
of
best
objection?
one. But Jupey
What
tends to
food
be the
would
one
you
that
use
encourages
to
you
say
more.
cheers?
It kind of balances it out.
Instant noodles are the most
She's
superior
actually
ultimate food.
interested in you as a person, wants to cheer you up and stuff like that. Whereas Ariel's pretty
noisy one.
relentlessly
When in
negative
Rome, do as
at this
the
point.
Romans
Everything.
do, as they say.
And yeah, and that's the idea. It's like
This
you
is
have
my
you have the
world.
good, you have
I
angel and
make
devil
the rules.
choices. You have angel and devil waifu.
All of that is a long roundabout way of saying that this isn't, it isn't really harem anime stuff.
Right.
It's more romantic comedy interspersed with your genocide and torture.
Right.
As it should be, I add. And yes, platinum interior walls are in this.
Oh yes.
Yes, much like Lorax, Shin is regretting this decision. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, Lorax is, everything predicted has come true.
Drakenel's holding his head.
But
But Ven's attention is there though.
What have you done?
But we need to destroy that facility, no matter what.
But sister, he and Inugami will surely be awaiting us there. Will he not?
Yeah, but much like in Fallout New Vegas, we have
The
God versus
Netherworld
Dog
also believes it to
coming
be an
up.
extremely important facility.
Whereas Inugami would be Dog God, so...
Right.
Whether or not I believe it, you must do it regardless. Or are
What, are you chicken?
so scared of losing control again?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared.
This is another one of those weird things, too, where it's like, in the story, it's like he accesses incredible, super fused angel, devil, god strength in the previous chapter, lost control, and bad things happen. Now, with no other explanation than the fact we've gained levels, and he has made friends with his waifus, he is able to hold his own.
Right.
You
There's-
know full well that you'll just end up wasting military
The genre has
resources.
shifted, and we're just along for the ride.
I am painfully aware of that. But still, we can no longer wait until Lord Shin is confident enough to
Yeah,
assure
that's kind of
us
the problem that I
victory.
have with it, because, I mean,
Due to
if they were to
external
trying to
factors.
say that, whatever weird thing she had said, like the real thing in combat is
What
calmly
do you
assessing
mean?
the situation or something like that. Zoluel! Yes.
Lady Mariel!
Of all the characters, I really I just wish we could toggle Japanese and English by character, because Zoluel is just amazing in Japanese.
Swear to God, you better quit!
Yeah, his voice pummeled me into
Punching you
submission the
again.
first time that I went there. It was great.
Sir Shin, Lord Shin, God Shin.
What is it, Zoluel? We are in the middle
Lord
of an
God
operation.
Shin.
If you have business with us...
Oh,
get
also in
with it
Japanese, we verified that
Then
you would think it would be like Shin Sama or something
reconsider
for
sending
the
that
Sir
kid.
Shin that Jupey does. No, it's just Song.
And why why should I do that?
Why?
Yeah, Draken. Yeah, he said main character's a wuss, until he wins by anime. It really seems like that's where they're going with it.
By that devil woman.
And they start off with a really interesting premise of using the crystal energy and stuff like that, and drawing
harmonics.
Right, drawing too much power from it and stuff like that.
So this
There
guy's
was a lot of.
factor.
Because normally, okay, and this kind of goes into the Ashura's Wrath thing that we were just talking about a couple minutes ago. It's a couple minutes ago, like half an hour now.
There is a possibility of repeating
but
a
when
similar
they-
tragedy.
The thing with a lot of these things is that there isn't
Even
any.
so, we have no
I guess
other
the
choice
word
but
for
to
it is there's no
ask you to fight.
stakes to it. There's really no drawback that these things seriously present, or the crazy go nuts level of power that the characters end up having. It's like
This is war. If we do not send
Zane
Lord
even made that
Shin,
comment about that. It's like
our
Lieutenant do
fate
hand
will
waves,
eventually
like your
succumb
life
to
force or
extinction
something
at the
else
hands
to
of the
justify
devils
why you
will
don't
be
always hit the
seen.
win button. But yeah, they actually had an interesting discussion in this game about
I do not
about
want you
actually
to
having serious
misunderstand.
drawbacks
I do not intend to accept
getting
the fate of
to get an
extinction,
amount of power you need to
nor do I
win,
intend
and is
to
it
take
worth
our
it?
comrades' lives
And then they
lightly.
decide not to do that again.
Right.
In order to limit the casualties of our allies and to prevent the extinction
Lark says
of the
we must
ages,
ask him to
I
fight.
always
So please
strive
unleash
to
your
make the
hollow-powered
appropriate
Bankai,
measures.
Ichigo.
Well, basically, the gist of it is this. If you have any complaints, come up with
Yeah,
an
but
alternate
I'm not a
plan
fan
and
of
give it to
Bleach,
us.
but they kind of do the alternate idea, kind of much like in DBZ. Just run with the idea that everybody gets ridiculous amounts of power and just up the scale that way. It is long past the point of ludicrous, but that's another way
This
of doing it.
operation is based solely on my discretion as an archangel.
That said, if Zoliwell was more like Aizen, I think I would enjoy this game a little bit more. Well.
But that being said, when Ben and I were talking
As
about
you
this,
can see,
either
we
the
do
first
not
stream or
have
the
the
second
luxury of
one,
time.
but it does kind of
Lord
make me
Shin,
wish that you
let
had
me
games
confirm
like this with the
once
exact same
Will
kind
you
of
accept this
premise and
operation?
story and everything, but you played a Sima Yi or something like that instead of a generic, shonen hero.
You may have to explain that a little bit.
Yeah, like a schemer, manipulator, plotter kind of character.
So you
It's
cannot
like
answer right
you
away.
personally don't amass the power you need to win single-handedly. You do things to help make sure your side wins. Which, considering that this story starts off with about the horrors
Because
of
this is
war
an
and stuff like
especially
that,
important and
would have fit
difficult
better.
battle.
But
I
they
want
end
you
up dropping
to
all
go
that
into
too.
it of your own free will.
What kind of
Shall give you
operation?
1
Is Devil
hour to
Doctor going to
think
amputate our arms and replace them
Once
with
you have made your
noodles?
decision, return to the control room.
If Drakenil, stop your whining everybody. I'll pull rank on you if I have to.
Right.
Reminds me of the idea of the enlightened despot. Argue as much as you wish about whatever you wish, only obey.
Right.
Underwater Ray Romano kind of poked at that idea, though not with a lot of dramatic weight, and then says a word that I cannot see or read. Or pronounce, I don't think.
Utaware Rumono.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm familiar with this. I am a little familiar with the series, but
Uh-oh, we need help to not get drowned in power. Who is going to help us keep our sanity when we want to go into Fuse God Bankai mode? Wacky Waving Instant Noodle Arms God Shin. Hey, Phoenix.
But yes.
Man, now I'm imagining, since you were talking about Ashura's Wrath, I'm imagining like the 6 arms burst out and the other 4 are just wavy noodles. Oh, Zane's gonna hate us if he sees all of this. It's gonna be great.
But yes, then you have time to rock the vote now. So who are we gonna talk to? Lorex says Jupey. Drakenel's a lot of words for Ariel.
Drakenel's a lot of not family-friendly language words for Ari.
Psychotic is right though.
Well, it is 2-1, so I suppose we go with Ariel.
Oh yes, 2 needles. Ben says. Oh yeah. Ben says going to recruit votes would be dishonest. Let the people have their say.
That said, if you could convince people to vote into something like this, I think I would let you have it just on principle.
3-1 for Ariel now. Okay.
The answer is science.
The chat has spoken.
Entertain me.
He finds his legs are naturally walking.
Though I probably should have reminded people earlier. Last time we did this, it was instant noodles, insults, and poking, and threatened operations.
Still have your mind
Doctors are
about
better than
this
princesses.
operation?
You need an education to become a doctor.
I believe you could tell.
Well, of course. To openly show off a face that's clearly saying, I'm hesitant, everyone would know.
That's exactly right. Still weak. I'll admit that.
It would be kind of interesting if the chat ends up completely shifting gears in midstream, because it feels like a lot of Ariel's character development only works if you see all of her scenes.
Right.
It would be kind of interesting.
Their help.
Ben's attention is immediately arrested again.
So I'm worried about myself. I never want to lose control ever again. I don't want to be engulfed
Drown
in
in
power.
power.
Even now, I can't help but worry about that.
See, maybe it's just the fact that I'm in a bit of a persnickety mood. But my thought is always, hey, if you're drowning in power, just learn to swim in it.
Please, give me your power.
But instead,
You've changed. That's certainly worthy of being studied. So, I don't mind helping you, but I am still a prisoner. I can't go with you.
Oh, is
like
this
you
the...
can. I can
Yeah,
only
this would
give
be really
indirect
weird if she
support.
does the same thing.
Is
but...
that fine?
Of course, I don't mind. After all, I need to overcome this problem.
but I
by
thought you
myself.
need... Oh, never mind.
You sure talk big. Fine then.
Oh
I'll
my.
let you drink my special medicine.
Yeah, Drakenel said they really want the spineless, I'm a sensitive soul
Don't
archetype
look
for a
so
main character.
doubtful.
And see, my
It's
thing
not a
is, if they
suspicious
actually
drug
went
or
full
anything.
bore with that,
It's a medicine
like if he
that will
actually was
dramatically
a
heighten
sensitive
your
soul,
power.
like an artist or something like that,
See,
Right.
got thrust into something
There
like that,
already
that could
makes it
actually be
sound
pretty
suspicious.
interesting.
But no, he's completely worthless. Yeah,
Yeah, it isn't that he's sensitive, it's that he's squishy.
right.
And yeah, it's just really frustrating.
This goes into a discussion we've also had before. Although we only kind of touched on it, but
Fine.
Devil Doctor is Ruki. Oh, you're the voice actress. Yeah, yeah. I know her as Rita from Tales of Vesperia. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but considering
Spell?
the evil, considering the kind of
Ruki
Sudiri
is
mad
also
scientist.
Devil starts talking
Yeah, I
about
know
stuff
that,
like
right.
Charms and spells. Really doesn't sound like a
Yeah.
joke.
Also, we are now
because
encountering
I'm
two
not
different
Jane.
streams from two different
Pay
games
attention.
where we're giving dodgy
Make sure
medicine.
You
It's
recite
great.
this down back to chant. Exactly. Superia, invidia, ira.
Oh, I like how she does it in English.
Acidia,
Yeah.
avaritia, gula, luxuria. Now, recite it.
All right, 7 deadly sins and
There's no
silly
way I can
Italian
remember
accents. We
such
can
a
do
long
that.
spell.
Even an idiot can remember it if they just recite it over and over again. Now then, repeat after
Well,
me.
Superbia,
Superia,
invidia,
invidia, ira.
Fine. Superior.
If you would try to do the accent, that's pretty great.
Ira.
NVIDIA.
Nvidia.
It's product placement. Radeon.
All right. Now for the finishing
Negata de Vida.
After you finish chanting the spell, you must immediately
It
drink the
almost-
I also like
Actually.
Drakenel's aya.
Understood.
Superbia,
Superior.
invidia.
Invidia. Ira.
But like I was starting to say is that the
Avaritia.
Japanese developers have really gotten to the point that they have learned that the market there is so small and is pretty much so completely switched over to mobile devices that if you're not a big name publisher
Whenever you get
putting out a
worried, recite the
Pokemon
spell
or
I
a
just taught you.
Monster, not
Surprise,
Monster Ranger,
surprise. That
Monster Hunter,
medicine will
or one of
work
those
eternally.
games, it's just not even worth your time. So instead of developing, whenever they develop a new IP or whenever they're trying to get product moved, basically, they will just basically cater to the otaku market. A small audience that has a lot of money and a lot of time. And it's like, yeah, so that's why Shin is a complete loser, because that's what they're marketing toward.
As long
That's
as
what they're
you leave
aiming
it to
at.
me, a
Yeah, they have
genius
made the
scientist,
decision
making
to,
one or two
yeah, they
bottles
found
of
their niche,
medicine like this
and
is
basically, as long as
easy.
they, make the product that's, as the saying goes, the same thing, only different.
Right.
They can basically press the button and get money, which is fine, but it is a limited market.
Right.
Also, Superbia, Nvidia, babadi babadai, babadi badai.
I see. So you have made up your mind. Thank you, Lord Shin.
Or
Because
God
this
Sir Shin.
operation is extremely important and difficult.
See, it
I
doesn't
wanted
work
you to
because,
accept
Shin
I will
is...
curse you. I will coerce you and guilt trip you the day long, as long as you accept it of your free will.
Well, they're not devils. They won't force them to do.
to.
But yeah, it doesn't work for me because, the joke that you and I have always had is that Shin is also the word for
Do
true.
not
Right.
do anything
So
rash.
if you have like Shin
Every
God,
single
whoever,
move that
and
you make
it's
affects
the
the
true
lives of
God
many.
form or whatnot. But now you have Shin God Shin. It doesn't work for me.
Now then, the invasion of the Ami magic refinery will commence.
So every
at
time they
2200.
say that, I keep thinking of the
Everyone has
Okami
until
mom.
then to
Amateur's,
prepare
yeah.
for the operation.
This game would be so much better if she was actually the god that we
Right.
Proceed.
Oh, we've got more events. All right, folks.
We just had this like long conversation of Ariel wanting to put her in the lab, and Ami just brr.
Expected to come back here so
Here she talks about crystal harmonics, and then she just falls asleep.
Sir Shin.
Is that you,
What's up,
Drakenel, or
Kamikaze?
Shin? The power of
After
devil
coming
moves has
all the
motivated
way
me to
here,
fight.
did you perhaps lose
As
your
long as it works, right?
Jupey, Ariel, I'm fine. I'm not saying that I'm not scared, but I have that spell I learned.
Spell? What are you
See, the
talking
problem I have is that spell doesn't really help in this situation.
That is a confidential matter that only the two of us know about. Right, Kamikaze?
He made a mistake. Also, a lot of murder. Oh yeah, for those of you that weren't here for the last stream, what happened was, Shin went crazy and fused into this hybrid devil, angel, god, monster with unlimited power, but fell apart in the end. And
So I think we kind of explained that a little bit.
Jupey,
well, I was gonna say, but the at the end of it was that, or about halfway through rather,
Yes, Sir
Jupiel
Shin.
ordered a squad of angels to
exclusively
slow him
assigned
down, and he ended up killing them
I
all.
shall accompany
So
you
that's
to
where
very end.
that scene was Aul and stuff like that earlier
You can
was.
completely rely on me.
And Drakenel
I
says,
am
Shin,
a
of course. The only
genius
thing he'd
scientist,
like is
after all.
to punch. The only thing I'd like to punch is Shin in the stomach for being such a dweeb. Yep, Ichigo went full hollow, killed good guys and bad guys.
Right.
But not the bad guy, so that was kind of frustrating.
Pretty much step 8 of any given anime, right?
Let's see.
Blade
I
feather.
actually don't think we need that.
To greatly boost critical rate.
On the other hand, yeah, SS would actually be pretty good for that. Well,
Yeah.
let's see what Devil gets us.
Unlike the critical pills, it might actually work, which would be great. Well, you at least want to get 2 to get your teleport move.
Phantom Dive.
Teleport without destination.
And that's
Ooh,
haste, right?
But we can't quite get it.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
You could go back and grind.
In that case,
But you can always eat a haste pill, for this part.
yeah.
And I imagine if it is SS, it might be better than the crit pills, which don't seem to actually work.
Right. We're at step 8 of any given anime, yes.
Yeah.
Alright, we are saving so that we never have to do that again.
And much like the 5 stages of grief or something like that.
Yeah.
We have the stages of a shonen anime progression. It's such a silly, petty little thing too, but you don't actually get the trophy for getting the skills until you lock it in. Like, well, we're gonna have you cheat the trophies in our game, Sonny.
Well, it's such a small thing to be worried about.
Right.
Alright, Sparking Rematch.
Yep, sorry, Ven, not spanking rematch.
I don't think I got my haste pill out of storage.
Probably not. But chances are good you'll find one, though.
Yeah, and even if not, with my new skill, I should be fine.
So I think this
Oh,
is...
and there's the revive gem that I was worried about.
Oh, hey, there's a...
Of course, that was a lot of damage.
So yeah, this is our... I don't think our first introduction.
Yeah, we fought them before.
Yeah, but this is why the emitters are hands down my least favorite enemy type. Because they have, I think it's a 5-tile range, they do a ton of damage, and they have a lot of HP. If they did less damage the closer you got to them, or something, it wouldn't be so bad. But as it is, I pretty much always have. If I know emitters are going to be in the dungeon, I will make sure to...
The emitter jag or the emitter whatever gem.
Yeah. Let's make it so hard to cause it sparks.
They really want that apple.
Right.
Alright, on we go.
Well, an apple a day keeps the devil doctor away.
Oops, that was what I wanted.
So you might see a lot of us actually walking diagonally properly and keen told us how to do that. We're very grateful.
That could be useful.
Yeah, I like using those on the exploding guys because it keeps them from doing it.
That one needed to wake up so that he could actually hit us. Alright. So that is everything.
Nice short floor there. Bit of a relief after that last time.
There we are.
Yeah, will be interesting if the chat ends up wanting to switch horses in midstream.
Well, by chat you mean the fact that we have people voting other than Lorax.
Right.
Part of me almost thinks that we should give Lorax a
like a. Well, we joked about super delegates, but you know he has the patronage or the peerage or whatever. Not in this chat, anyway.
And taking an extra couple of hits would have been bad.
Perfect.
Oh, that would have been great if I could have.
You could always blow your exit item.
We'll see what happens by the time I get to. It was 410, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you may end up needing to bail anyway if things get bad. So we'll see. Nice. Yeah, the landmines straight up do half your health and damage, and hit all of the tiles around them, which is cool when it hits enemies, but is bad when it hits items like that.
See, I'm going to. Now risk it. I should not have done so.
At least you guessed right on your transformation.
Right.
You miss and die. Oh.
Ooh, that would have been bad. I step on a landmine and die.
So this is why we save before going into dungeons.
Alright.
Not bad, not bad.
Another. Oh, that's right. He stole my liquid sealant.
Right.
There we are. Ooh, a rapier.
Lorax wonders why most dungeons are 10 floors. It feels a bit too long, like the cutscenes from earlier in the game. Well, don't forget too that we didn't have the auto on full speed back in our first stream, so that made it even longer than otherwise would have been.
Right.
But no, you're right. It's like that's part of the horrible pacing I mentioned. That you start off with very serious, lots of story, lots of melodrama, and then here we are. We have a discussion over which waifu's room to sleep in. We get guilt tripped into doing the mission we have to do anyway by the boss, and then we go do it. And that's it. That's all the dialogue from this chapter. So yeah. The mystery dungeons are the sorts of games where you need to use items, enemies get nasty as hell, Keen says. Yeah, they definitely get harder here. There are a lot of, I won't say a lot, but in the last couple stages, there are rooms where I've ended up having to use, I'd say probably 4 or 5 rooms in any given dungeon, or stuff like this. There's like, 3 or 4 enemies, and you have to use something, or you get overwhelmed. Unless you can lure them to a bottleneck, which you can't always do that.
Right.
Nice. Better not let him hit you. It would have been a bad idea anyway, but...
Right. But now it would be a super bad idea.
Right. But no, I think that the idea was that 10 floors is a good balance between the time you spend in the dungeon versus the... I think it's basically it. You try to balance out the time you spend in the dungeon compared to the time you spend, outside of it. And yeah, they may err on the side of it being too long. They really should have made they really should have varied it a bit. Like right now, pretty much everything is 3 for the first one, I believe. Then everything else is either 5 or 10. And yeah, it seems really odd.
Right. Okay, floor 4.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget that if you find the elevator, the escape, early on in one spot, and keep exploring, to use it to shut off the teleport whenever we want to get back.
Oh yeah.
Slow your poison ring. Nice. Well, yeah, we're going to swap that one out. So.
In case anyone is wondering why I keep looking around even in situations where I otherwise wouldn't need to, is that I'm looking for some of the items that can drop are just absolute game changers. Things like the SP recovery ring and things like that.
Right.
And I know that the instant I stop searching is when I'm going to find them. Let's see. Let's just deal with it.
Yep. So that's what I meant. They can just explode right off.
Right. Wouldn't mind so much if I just had more tools to actually deal with that.
Right. Yeah, the best bet is just to knock them away, but since that was an angel type, it wouldn't have done much damage.
Right.
But then we were full on SP, so it might not have been too bad.
Yeah.
It's such a rare situation to be in, to actually have all of your, SP.
Nice.
So Joaquin mentioned earlier he's played the Mystery Dungeon games. For the rest of you, do you play games like this very often? The roguelikes, and I know Ven's a big fan of roguelikes and is probably looking down his nose at how easy, comparatively, this one is with the save and reload and all that. But for the rest of you, I'm just kind of curious.
Nope.
Ties into Angemon.
You're pulling questions of the chat and you're referring to Digimon. I think we're in a bad situation now. Okay. We continue along.
Ven just homestead us. Oh, also, Ben and the other guys here that watch our Darkest Dungeon streams, I also wanted to get your guys' opinion on. I was thinking about getting the mod to bring the Musketeer in, even though we don't have even though we obviously didn't Kickstarter it. So I'm wondering if you all approve of that, or if it would cheapen the experience somewhat because we didn't, we don't deserve to have her.
Whereas I'm kind of the opinion that, you had the opportunity for showing off that you were a Kickstarter supporter. That's kind of come and gone.
Right. That's true too. Yeah, there's been quite a few updates since it went official.
That was not what I wanted. Yeah.
We wanted to zap it.
Yeah. Let's just go with it.
Yep.
There we are.
The fact you don't get any XP when they self-destruct.
Right.
That's the kicker.
That's the thing that I just.
Right.
Oh, great.
What it really should have done is, if they had to keep that mechanic in the first place, is have the self-destruct just deal damage to both of you, and if that damage is enough to kill it first, then it can still hurt you, but you'll get credit for it. Right. And that way you at least don't get screwed out completely when the fight's almost over, and then it just, spites you.
Alright, on we go.
Hey, Sprawl. How dare we
Sprawl.
treat ourselves into being a Kickstarter supporter? For shame, for shame. Well, if for what it's worth, I'm probably going to kickstart.
Oh, this is actually a new enemy, by the way.
I'm probably going to kickstart the next thing Red Hook does. He's calling the internet police for even suggesting it.
Hey, this is the wild frontier. You'll have to wrestle up a posse to arrest us. Would it be like IP thieves?
Right. And I thought everyone knew that the only police on the internet are grammar police anyway.
This is true.
Or was it grammar Nazis and something? I can't remember what there's something police you see a lot. I can't remember what it was now.
Oh, hey. I think that is a mid-double.
These are the cute internet.
Which is why we must murder her.
Also, the enemies here just jumped in XP a little bit. Like there's about twice as much for the mid devils versus the regular ones. Yeah, everyone on the internet is Hitler. That's true, yeah, especially in a political campaign season. Everyone is Nazis right now. Yeah, literally Hitler, right? I remember one of Mog's videos. We had a little discussion about that.
About being Hitler?
Well, about politics. You know.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. You know, I forget what the context even was, but it's like you know, yeah, I'm right wing, but the European like anti-everyone right, and it was, you know, I wouldn't invite those guys over. He's like, well, your version's okay, you know.
Okay, we continue fighting all of these monsters because holy cow, that's a lot of them.
Yeah,
Another rapier.
Once you know that mimics are in that dungeon layout, you pretty much always need to be prepared for them.
Because, yeah, you never know.
Right. and going back, Lorax is the only roguelike he's played is Binding of Isaac. Yeah, I have seen a lot of that game, but... Oh.
I don't think that actually helped me.
Nope. See, that's a big problem with it. It has a very long range, but, you know, if there's so few situations you'd ever want to use it. I guess if you see an enemy down the hall and it's moving to flank you, then you can like switch places with it and get out of that situation. But otherwise,
I guess I am just gonna have to try to kill it.
Right. Draconel, AC is a timer for how long you can be in the dungeon.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. Every certain number of steps and actions will decrement it by 1, but you can eat food to bring it back. And yeah, the apples will give you the largest amount, but any pill or
again, it's not what
but any pill or leaf item will also give you a little bit back.
About 5.
5, yeah.
There's my explosive bottle.
In general, you'll find at least one type of find an apple or a ripened apple in the dungeon, and I found a couple full heal elixir type things.
Ooh, a cure-all. Oh, good to know.
Good, yeah, that was very fortunate. Vampire Viscounts. These guys have a lot of HP as part of the problem.
Yep, and they can also cure themselves. So. Well, great.
Amnesia tile is triggered. You've become a Rune Factory protagonist.
That's more like it.
Those guys must have like 80 hit points.
Alright. Do more devil killing. In this case, angel killing.
But yeah, I've been with the new town events and everything. I'm thinking that showing off new stuff in Darkest Dungeon could be a good thing for our stream. So then it was like, okay, oh yeah, the Musketeer exists, and I don't think I've ever seen her because, you know, I guess most of the people that backed it early and got it aren't really playing it much anymore. It's also funny seeing out-of-date info about that game online. Like I saw something in the Trinket, you know, analysis thing talking about how amazing the Book of Rage was. Apparently that was like 3 nerfs back.
Oh yeah. Oh, might as well.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
2 items.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will go this way.
That's a one's a critical hit increase, right? Boost tile and the crit tile. It seems like the angel form just natively has a higher chance to critical.
It might have a higher crit chance.
And yeah, this can get okay. Good thing that the vampire didn't see you, but yeah, that can definitely get tricky if you get caught in a hallway with a bunch of enemies all kind of moving around. There are a handful of times I've actually had to use an exit to just bail out of a situation that otherwise would certainly have died, because it uses up a turn to use items, which means that even if you have a good healing item, you can still fall behind as enemies do more damage,
right.
And then you get back. Yeah, back in the day, you could get 2 and above 100% death blow resist and no heart attacks, right? Yeah, I remember people talking about the assembly line strategy, or the conveyor belt strategy, where you just, you know, feed the enemies into your front row because there was no corpse mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's interesting how as games progress, that that the meta changes completely like that.
Yeah, even small, what would seem to be small changes, can have pretty major effects.
Right. It could be a good item.
Maybe.
Anything else? Weapons appropriate for a dungeon always. Okay.
Another rapier. I think that makes 3.
You can kind of wish this he had played back in the day when Darkest Dungeon was so much more abusable.
Honestly, I kind of feel the same way at times.
You'd rather just have it be easy.
Well, I mean, not necessarily that so much, but just the fact that it seems like a lot of the fun exploits are gone now.
Right.
So it feels much more like you can't really... I have to loop back around. Or you...
I just meant or teleport, but... Oh, but you're not that far, yeah.
That and there's an equal probability that I would just teleport back.
Right. So yeah, so if it's on the other side of the stage, it'd be one thing,
Right.
But yeah, it's actually not that far. No, I was Ben and I used to play.
Oh gosh.
My! I would maybe gem this one.
Do I have?
Uh-oh.
I don't have any useful gems, but I know what I can do.
Oh, yeah, that'll work. I was thinking, just do the get elsewhere, but
Well, if I did the go elsewhere, I could drop into a situation just as bad.
fair enough.
Whereas this way, I absolutely know that I'm not going to have any problems.
Right, because yeah, the devils are probably gonna take the long way around to try to get around to you.
Well,
they're just mulling around backwards.
Yeah,
in
that's
that
the thing.
room,
They
yeah.
didn't see me, so. See, she's someone I'm not too worried about her.
Right. Yeah, Ben and I played a game of Pathfinder a little while back, and I've been keeping up on because he's been thinking about getting into another one. So I've been keeping up on the updates and nerfs and errata and all that stuff. And they did a batch of nerfs with their kind of like FAQ clarifications by which we pile drive items into the ground. And one of them was an item I had used back when we played, and they basically completely destroyed it. Like, it used to have a +1 luck to your defense and a reroll once per day. They changed it to deflection, which is a type that doesn't stack with much, and a once ever bonus.
Regardless, huh?
So you will basically never ever use this item anymore. And Sprawl had a link there. Timer's on 30. Yeah, because enemies that take up 2 spaces don't trigger the warning, stress, or reinforcements, right? Nice. In my solo game, I just took care of the brigand 12-pounder, and that was, I think, 18 turns.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This one. Then something... Oh, this isn't going to be a problem.
Right.
And then I should have enough AC to not only get here, but also to fight Yen. And I think this is the one time where I'll do the Phantom Dive. Just as I thought.
Where to plot you?
Upper right-hand corner. Where I came from. Yep.
Nice.
I can't do it again, so that's unfortunate, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to get out because I can't actually solve this situation.
You could diagonal, so only the switch to Angel diagonal, so only the vampire can get to you and get to the hallway. Yeah. And at this point, you probably heal up if you need to.
I'm going to just try to leave.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh boy.
Once, yeah.
Your game, ladies and gentlemen.
Went around the refectory. The vampires chased the hero. Vampires thought it was all in good fun.
Oh dear.
You get caught there, but you're at full HP and a lot of SP back now. So you could try to make the most of it.
Well, not against both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody in there, though. I sure hope it's not anybody bad. Oh, it's a devil woman.
Yeah.
Well, this is... Honestly, I think I might bail anyway, because that's a lot... That's not much to face EM with.
What items do you have? You don't have the haste pill, so you can't stall an then buff. You don't have any weak pills. Yeah, I don't think you really have anything you would want to make it a fair fight.
So I hate to do this to you all. Next time I'll just go ahead and rush right in.
And then it was playing the Benny Hill theme.
Yeah. So yeah, I am out, and next time I should be fine.
Oh, man.